organizations that people are joining in. Okay, great. Okay, so it's 12:05. Okay, so if you have any other friends that you want to invite, please do so as soon as possible as we are starting with the webinar. Okay, so welcome first of all, everybody. This is Ace My Prep. I'm Nikhil. I'm a senior counselor here, right? And what we are talking about today is that if you guys are planning for the September 23 intake or a January 24 intake, what should be the next steps, right? And are we too late? Because yes, there's a lot of commotion that we can see every year. To be honest, this is not a new thing. Every year we receive the same requests around December, January, that some people have the New Year resolution to go abroad, or some people have just started late. And this question remains the same: Are we late? Right? So, are we late, or can we still do this? So, plainly, simply answering the question, yes, we can do this. Right? So, this webinar is about that: how to do it. Today, first of all, so I will introduce our co-founders. So there are two co-founders of Ace My Prep. One is Prithvi sir and one is Pragya ma'am. So Pragya ma'am is over this call right now. You can see her, I think, on your screen. So these two guys started this company 7 or 8 years ago. They have been constantly sending students abroad, over 10,000 students abroad right now. And the only thing that sets us apart from everyone is that we just target tier one universities, right? So if you are familiar with this industry, there is a law named partnerships that goes on a lot. We are not partnered with anyone. We just focus on students that want to get into the top universities, and we just help them go abroad, right? So definitely, if you are one of those people who want to get into the best brand names, right, we'll cover why that is also important later in the webinar, right? And yeah, so we are just focusing on you guys. We just focus on students that want to get into the tier one universities of every country. Okay, that's a quick introduction. And moving forward, now it's time to hear you guys. What are your dream colleges? Okay, so wherever you want to go, it can be as dream as possible. We here promote the ambitious dreams of people, right? So we love if somebody wants to get into Columbia or Stanford, no matter what profile. Please feel free to drop in on the chat box any dream university that you want to get into, any profile, any course, any dream school, right? So I'm just giving you 1 minute time, guys, so you can drop in any university name that is your dream university. Most probably will have an admit from there, so I will be able to give you personal insights on it as well, right? So any dream universities that you really want to pitch in or you want to talk about, please drop your text, so that if there is some personal advice that me or Pragyaman can share over our several years of experience, we will definitely do that. Okay, so obviously I'm seeing the normal names, or I would say the most names that I hear. That's Columbia, Stanford, LBS. Okay. I would love to get in touch with you guys, right? So after this webinar, if you want a one-on-one session, you can definitely register through us. I'll definitely listen out to you individually there as well. So okay, there's a lot of universities that are coming up. Northwestern, okay, Deeksha, I can see that Northwestern, and okay, so there is Rochester, there's Simon. Okay, great. Okay, so please, okay, Dartmouth College, okay, Ivy Leagues. Okay, so there are multiple colleges that we can talk about. Please reserve your questions till the end, right? So there will be a lot of places where I will definitely ask questions to you guys. So that will be where you can ask specific questions about the university, right? And please go and check our reviews, right? So the in this industry, what we have realized is that trust is the most important factor. Whichever student we pick up, we cater the best to them, and we make sure that they get into the right university. That's why our Google ratings are 5 on 5, no matter how many students that we serve, right? We give heart and soul to the people that enroll with us. Today, your host will be me and Pragya ma'am both, right? So I'm a senior counselor. I have been in this industry for several years now. Ace My Prep is one of those organizations that I wanted to associate with just because they help tier one. Even I was applying to tier one universities some years ago, and I had a lot of difficulties to go through the entire market, sort out which universities, etc. Whereas Ace My Prep does this very easily, right? You just have to trust us, and we'll make sure, right? And then our guest speaker, right? So today the highlight is this person, right? So right now he's sitting with a Boston University admit with almost a 50% scholarship, right? So that is a I would say amazing achievement for any Indian student to get a top brand like Boston University, getting a year-wise scholarship as well, right? So welcome, Harshul. So Harshul Chugh, he is right now an official of KPMG, right? He has 5 years of experience there, And Harshul, I remember the first day that we met, right? So we were debating a lot around how many universities we should apply, which universities we should apply. So Harshul had done a BBA from Symbiosis, and he had an aggregate percentage of 61.5, if I'm not wrong, right? And after that, 5 years of experience. So his major thing about his profile was his experience, his excellent experience, and we played that card. Right now, he's sitting with a Boston University admit with the GMAT waiver. Another very important topic that we will definitely introduce you guys to. Also, first of all, Arshad, do you want to say anything how the journey has been with us? Any comments on that?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. Uh, so I started back in April, May with Ace My
Yeah.
Prep, and I started shortlisting universities. I was assigned a career strategist. First of all, the first step was assignment of a career strategist, and then it was according to my profile. So they have different career strategies which they assign according to their profile. So I'm also an entrepreneur. I have my own startup also, which I consult part-time basis, and I'm also a professional DJ. So they assigned me a strategist accordingly, and he helped me identify my strengths, and he helped me identify the opportunities and etc. Which I can add on to my profile and showcase it in my essays. So overall, it was a good journey which I had. It involved me making most of the decisions rather than the career strategist or is my prep. So that felt good.
Okay. Good journey. I was expecting a great journey, right?
Yeah.
So because amazing feature to be
So
honest,
yeah.
with the profile, with your commitment, because as you can hear, guys, he was here with us since April or May, right? So it took us around 5-6 months, and we applied for GMAT waivers. There's an entire process that we followed. Right now, he's very happy, right. As you can see on his face, he's very happy, and I think this we are still expecting offers. To be honest, this is not the end, right? As Harshul has is still applying to other universities now, leveraging his admit plus scholarship from Boston. He's still targeting more ambitious universities. So this is the spirit that we are in look for. Okay, we just want to help people that want to get into the best universities, no matter what profile. We will tell you the tricks. We will tell you how to enhance a profile. That's our department, right? Great. Okay, Ashul. So I'll come back to you, right? There will be more questions from the students also, from our side also, right? I'll come back to you. Now, moving forward, right? So, like, guys, let's get serious on this matter. So, how do we divide the intakes? So, first of all, it's three intakes primarily all around the world. Okay, first is fall intake, that is September. That means the classes start in September 23. Okay, then the next option that you have is in spring intake, that is January 24, and summer intake, that is May 25. Sorry, May 23. Okay, so what we have to look at here is which intake will be the best for you, right? Right now we are concentrating on fall intake September 23 and January 24, because these are the nearest intakes. Whatever you can do, if you want to travel abroad as soon as possible, fall intake is still possible. Yes, many universities are still open. So there's a lot of commotion that people think that they are too late to fall intake. Yes, you are late, but you're not too late. That's what this webinar is about, right? And does it impact the job market alignment? So which one of these intakes is the best to align with your career? Obviously, it is September, right? Maximum universities open in September. Maximum universities have classes starting in September. So when you think about it, after a 2-year course, you will be graduating in August, right? So Harshul is right now the class of 2025. That means by July or August, he'll be finishing his entire MBA, right? So maximum opportunities open up in September itself, right? The job market aligns itself to the graduation month of this, all the people that study MBA or MS or anything that you do, right? So if you have to align according to the job market, then fall intake suits the best. That's why we always push students for the fall intake, specifically for the scholarships. If Harshul would have definitely, applied in January intake, the scholarship, probability might have been lesser, right? So we have to look at the best scholarships as well. Okay. Now moving forward, the deadline. So these are just some deadlines that I'm shooting at you guys. Okay, these are the top universities that still have the deadlines. Okay, and you can see the deadlines marked. These are just some. To be very honest, there are many more. Okay, but just to start, because there are many students that came up with these particular universities and their doubts regarding these doubts. These deadlines are presented to you. There are many. Any university that you want, we can present to the deadline as well. Okay, so NYU Stern still has 15 January. Texas MECOMS has 28 March. Columbia has 11 January. By the way, Columbia 11 January deadline is the scholarship deadline. Okay, so the last scholarships that are rolled out to any admits is 11 January. It's not just that Columbia will not stop accepting applications. That's not the case. It's just the scholarships that will be stopped after 11 January. Okay. Great. Now moving forward, what will you learn, right? So there are three things that we have to focus on right now. What are the next steps, practical steps? So the first thing is timeline creation. That means we are standing on January 7th right now. We need to be in US, UK, Canada, anywhere by September. So how do we divide the work along the months, right? So that is the first thing. What is the timeline creation? What are the documents? There is not much time to beat around the bush and depend on someone else. You have to create a list of documents. You have to be properly prepared, as we need to apply within January. That is the target right now. We have to apply within January, or within maximum February mid. We have to apply and get this off our shoulders, right? And choosing the correct time to apply. Okay, so yes, you have to actually balance an act. The act is basically profile enhancement and profile assessment. Enhancement means what all should we add to a profile. For example, if you're taking up a Columbia application, I'm sure you guys have a good profiles, or even if you need to work on your profiles, you need time, right? You need around 15 to 20 days to work on your profile before we can present it, right? So these are the three particular things that we will cover in this particular webinar, and I'll just browse through the first all of them, and then I'll ask Pragya ma'am to give her insights as well, because she has over 7 or 8 years of experience now, and she has the most great admits, I would say, of our organization, right? So first of all, let's create the timeline. Okay, so if you are targeting the fall intake, this is your timeline that you should be following, right? January and February should be shortlisting and applications. So as Harshul said, that most of the decisions are taken by you guys, right? So how does Ace My Prep move forward? Is we move forward with shortlisting is the main thing, because we can take 20 days, but we have to come up with the right shortlist. A shortlist that allows you to touch the moon but still stand on the ground, right? So shortlisting is where you can take the maximum amount of time and you can enhance your profile on the sidelines. Okay. If you apply by January or February, by April, you will get your entire offers. Okay. So all of your offers will be there by April. And in April itself, we can start the loan procedure. April to August, we constantly chase scholarships, right? You can see Harshul's profile. He has got already 30,000 scholarships, but there will be other admits and we can chase other scholarships as well, right? So we need time to chase scholarships, and maximum scholarships need an offer letter in hand in order to be eligible for those scholarships. Okay. And then May to July, we have to book our visa slot and get done with our visa as well. This is the timeline, exact timeline that we have to follow if we want to reach US, UK, Canada, or any other country for that matter by September 23. Right? Spring intake is in January 24. So we have a relaxed timeline there, but I would not say relaxed if you're targeting the top schools. Two reasons for that. One, number of top schools available in during January intake is very, very less, right? By the way, guys, you can drop in your comments or any doubts. Definitely, we will, we'll cater to that in the chat section, right? Coming back to the topic, two things. So first, not many top universities are there in the spring intake. Secondly, we have to enhance our profile according to those top universities, right? So you can see one additional thing added in the spring intake, that is February, March, April. 3 months, we just enhance our profile. What all we can show, right? As Harshul rightly mentioned, he is a DJ as well, right? So that also contributes to an MBA profile. How, you can ask Harshul, right? So extracurricular activities or your passions or how your entrepreneurship skills are used in various fields is also very critical when you're targeting top universities. Okay. So the first thing is timeline creation. You can take a screenshot of this, right? So that you can organize yourself accordingly, or you can book a session with us. We'll sort it for you. Not a problem at all. Okay. Moving forward, the list of documents. So these are the mandatory list of documents that we need to prepare. There are many more, right? A basic list of document like Passport is not mentioned here because without passport, we are not thinking of going abroad. Passport is there. We need it for the IELTS exam. We need it for the GRE exam also, right? Moving forward, transcripts. Transcripts are cumulative mark sheets awarded by your university. Okay, so if you have a 7 or 8 semester, bachelor's, 6 semester or 8 semester bachelor's, you need a cumulative transcript where all of your semester mark sheets are accumulated and presented in a manner. Here, there is also a column for credit hours. This is the most important. Okay, because if you look at the top university profiles or top university admission pages, they'll always ask for number of credit hours in this particular subject, right? So this is what the university is wanting to know. On which particular subject have you spent how many credit hours? Okay. Experience letter. So if you are a person who has 2 or 3 years of experience, or you are a fresher with internship experience, everything has to be documented. Okay. You need to have a proper experience letter on the letterhead of that organization, signed by an official, a supervisor or an official, right? That will be counted as, it will be better if it is stamped as well. That will be counted as experience letters. Okay. The timeline should be mentioned, since when did you join the organization, when did you leave, right? Or if you are still working. Moving forward, letter of recommendation. So in the top universities, LORs, SOPs, and resume. Three things plus the interview, right? Four things actually make up 70% of your entire application process. Okay. It's yes, if you have a very good GMAT score, that does help. If you have CGP and bachelor's, that does help. But what makes the most impact is how you present yourself, right? LORs, SOPs, essays, resume, interview, all of these things are 70% of your application. So this is where you need to hit the nail. Okay. As we are standing in January, I can't expect you guys to give tremendous exams like GMAT, GRE, or score a lot in them, right? So our main thing in our arsenal, main weapon in our arsenal is these particular things that are still in our control, right? The editing stuff, basically, LORs, SOPs. So we have to make sure that these are of the top tier quality, right? We have editing team here that has edited so many documents that have gone through Stanford, Boston, for example, or a London Business School. So we take care of this entire matter. It will be your story, right? It's not just fancy English, to be honest, right? So many people assume that it's just fancy English that we use. No, that freelancers can do. What we do here is develop an entire storyline, right? Strategize every move that you have made in the past 3 years, combine it towards an ambition, towards a very good goal, and that's how we move forward. Okay, so all of this story framing is very important when you talk about management profile specifically, and also if you're going for a research based profile, then you need to show how did you land up to that particular niche topic of research. Okay, so these are the list of documents that you require primarily, right? You should focus on your transcripts because these are a third party dependency. Experience letter, because it's a third party dependency, you're dependent on someone else, that's why, right? Right. Is GRE or GMAT delaying your plan? So this is one thing, right? So can we apply for GRE waivers or not, right? So this is first thing that we need to cater to as soon as possible. And this is our giveaway is also aligned with this. Right now, as I said, I can't expect you guys to give a GRE or GMAT, right? And specifically people like Harshul who are working at KPMG, I know his work schedule. We have been maintaining a relationship for 6 months now, 6 or 7 months, and he hardly has any time to cater or to carve out for GRE or GMAT, right? Still, yet he's sitting with a top 20 admit in US, right? How does he do that? Is by applying for a waiver. Okay, so Pragya ma'am, if you want to chip in onto what to highlight, right, for a GMAT waiver or GRE waiver, what aspects should we highlight, right? Because that will be very important. Just writing them a note is not sufficient. We need to highlight exactly what the university is looking forward to. And yeah, please chip in and you can definitely educate us all.
All right. First of all, welcome everybody to this webinar. So GRE right now, it's a very subjective thing. I think it's something everybody is worried about all the time, right? And now we are at the 11th hour. I think the first thing to get is a GRE or a GMAT waiver, right? Now, what happens here is there are multiple kind of waivers that you need to know first, right? You can't apply randomly for a GRE waiver. You need to know on what grounds are you applying for one, right? So there are multiple types. I'll take you through some of the types of waivers that actually exist, right? So the first GRE waiver can be taken on grounds of your academic readiness, right? So what that means is if you've really scored well in your bachelor's, you have somewhere around 75% plus, that equates to 3 out of 4 GPA in the US equivalent. you can actually get a waiver from schools like USC Marshall. USC Marshall is one school that gives, a waiver on academic grounds, right? So if you come with very, good percentage, I think this is one category that remains common with most of the schools, right? The second category is on the grounds of your experience, right? If your experience has been very quantitative, it might have been in the field of finance, it might have been in operations, right? Or whether it is something apart from this, right? What you have to highlight is the kind of quantitative and logical work you have done in that time. And you can tell the university that my experience, right, if it's more than 3 years or somewhere around 5 years, that's even more beneficial. You can actually get a very easy professional waiver, right? The third category is a little bit different, and most people don't fall under this, right? But in spite of the fact, there are a lot of students who get a waiver in this third category, which is on the grounds of your professional qualifications. So let's say I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, but I also did one other diploma, maybe in engineering management, which kind of honed my skills, right? So this is a professional degree that adds a little bit of quantitativeness to my profile more than that, right? So this is also a category which is offered by a lot of schools. I'll take one example: Vanderbilt, the Open Business School, which is a very famous business school for MBAs. It offers academic waivers very easily, but they also offer you a waiver if you're confident about your logical ability, right? What I believe is GRE GMAT is just a sign of your logical ability, and therefore it has two sections, right? GRE comes with a verbal and a quant section, right? So if you're able to show that by any other means, a university would be happy to give you a waiver, right? Most of the students don't want to even try. So what I would suggest is go through the university pages. You would find a page talking about the test scores or the academic scores. Under that segment, you would either see a waiver form, or you would see an email address where you can mail, or you can actually just directly reach out to your program coordinator at that very university. And I'm sure you'll come up with a GRE waiver. And in this last moment, the universities are also making the point that they're replying to your mails and the waiver forms in just 3 to 5 days. So I think this should be your strategy. First, identify what is the biggest strength in your profile. Is it the academic, readiness, or is it your professional qualifications? Or if you're very logical and you have good skill set, maybe that can be one pointer.
Great. So I think Harshul will need your inputs as well. You got a GRE waiver from Boston. You've got other GMAT GRE waivers as well. So what did you highlight, right? We had that session with you, right? Chugh was there and I was there. So we had highlighted a lot of things about your professional work, right? So can you just tell us a little bit about how does that GRE waiver work? How did it work for you?
So basically, we highlighted that I work in data and insights. So I have those analytical skills which are required for to begin with an MBA. And also, additionally, after that, I had a few certifications for certain future ready tools like Alteryx, Power BI, and I'm a government certified digital marketing expert also. So we highlighted those things, which helped me gain a waiver, and also we added some in few universities we added my extracurriculars, for example, DJing, etc.
Right. So exactly anything that you do, right? So guys, anything that you do, any extracurriculars, any co-curriculars, we can highlight them for a GMAT GRE waiver. As ma'am and Harshul both pointed out, we have to highlight on the quantitative abilities. We have to also highlight your communication abilities. So these are the two main things that they check, right? And your analytical skills as well, right? So if you have been in a leadership position, for example, you don't deal with maths or so, but you have been at a leadership position, that is an analytical skill, right? Handling people, etc., is very valued. It depends on the strength of the group that you are managing. Okay, so anything can be converted into your plus point. You just need to know how to link with the aptitude that the university is looking for. So GRE GMAT, if that is delaying your plan, if that is stopping you to apply from fall 23, we will share you a list of universities, Boston being just one of them, right? There are multiple universities that are ready to give you a GMAT GRE waiver if you can show or display the same potential that they're looking for, right? So first of all, if GRE GMAT is delaying, get on your shoes, right? Even if you want to see where do you stand on the international market, apply for September 23. Let's see which universities do you get into, right? And accordingly, you can take a call. Okay, great. Now moving forward, right? So why should you convert your CGPA to GPA? Okay, so this is a very popular question that people have, that if they don't have more than 70%, can they even target top universities, right? So again, introducing, I see a lot of people joining in right now. So guys, I'll just introduce you to Harshul's profile again, if you don't remember. So Harshul had a 61.5 and he had done a BBA from Symbiosis, right? So this was his academic profile, right? Rest what follows is 5 years of experience, eventually ending up at KPMG, and he is right now at a very good position and managerial position at KPMG, right? And apart from that, he has his own entrepreneurships. He has he has built a very good entrepreneurship. He's a DJ as well. So this was his entire profile, but his academic abilities were just at 61.5, right? Yet he's sitting with again a top 20, top 30 universities. That's why his profile is a very ideal profile to use as an example to motivate you guys that if you have scored less in your bachelor's, it doesn't matter, right? Yes, it definitely makes a difference. It will push you behind the entire competition, but you still have a very good chance. Okay. How do you do that? One of the most, I would say, effective manners is a WEST evaluation. WEST stands for World Education Services. What does this World Education Service do? Specifically for people who are from BTech, they don't face this problem. But any person who is from BBA, BCom, BA, anyone who wants to go to US and Canada has to display 16 years of education, right? I'm sure this is a question that you have heard a lot, right? And most of the universities now have come out and blatantly said that we don't need, but still there's a lot of confusion in the air. Uh, so to clear that out, West started this organization which actually evaluated documents, right? It evaluated the credit hours that you have in your entire degree. So if you match the credit hours of a US bachelor's degree, because they have a lot of breaks, right? They have a spring break, they have a summer break, they do internships. So that's why their entire course is of 4 years rather than 3 years. We do the same amount of hours, same amount of studies within 3 years. So it's not your fault. So first of all, what West will do, it is a two-step procedure. First step is convert your 3-year degree into a 4-year degree. Okay. So if the number of credit hours match, you are upgraded to a 4-year degree, and no one can deny this. No university denies this. If you have a WES evaluation, 99% of the universities accept you as a 16-year education student. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, what it does, it converts your CGPA to GPA, right? And it actually gives you the percentile. Where do you stand? Now, if you guys have given CAT, right, you would know okay, it's a percentile system even in CAT, right? So it's very important for managerial institutes or for any particular institute for that matter, even research universities, to know where did you stand in your class rather than how much you scored. So we have multiple examples. One of the best examples is Sadhya, right? So she is a Delhi University student. She only scored a 68% in her psychology honors, right? In Delhi University, maximum that I can score is 75, 77. So where did she stand in the class? Top 10, top 15. But what was being projected was that she had just scored 68 out of 100%, right? So after doing a West evaluation, her GPA came out to be on a 4 scale, right? 4 GPA scale. It came out to be 3.46, right? So exactly. So it can boost up that much. A 3.46 out of 4 in US is a scholar. That is a scholar thing, right? So not many people can score 3.3. You check out different admission websites, they will say if you have a 3.3 or above, you are directly eligible for a GRE waiver, you are directly eligible for a merit scholarship, because for them, anyone who has scored 3.3 or above, who stands above the 3.3 mark in US is a scholar. Right? So you never know what is your true potential unless you cover this West evaluation, right? For many students, their universities are internationally accredited. For them, it is easier because then the transcript is very detailed, and accordingly, the university knows where does that student stand, right? But if you have a state university or any other university where the correction method is very strict, then you need to do this WES evaluation. There are multiple people, I can't tell you how many people, who did a Google evaluation. They dropped in with a 2.5, 2.6 GPA, but when they did a West, they were bumped above 3.3. Right? This is a true evaluation. This is the true honor whatever hard work you have put in. So low marks will not, kill your dream of getting into a top school. No, that's not the case. You are always better. In India, though, you are always better. If you have a 7.5 CGPA, do a West evaluation, you will get bumped to 3.3. Right? So you should definitely do this evaluation. Now, moving forward, what should be your strategy? So this is the main crux, right? What should be your strategy standing in January? If you have to apply within a month, what all do we need? How should we go about it, right? And right now, Pragya ma'am, if you can pitch in and you can just discuss on the strategies that multiple students have used. Another thing, guys, I'll show you one profile at the end of this webinar, right? You'll be surprised to see what that guy has achieved with that kind of a profile. He joined us in January, right? So stay tuned, right? At just at the end of this webinar, we'll share that profile. That case study is also live on our website, so you can go and take a look as well. So yeah, ma'am, can you just give us a brief about what should be our strategy standing in January? Go on, please.
All right. I think when we are aiming for September now, we are already in Jan, and you should assume that you have to make your applications. You should try make your applications as early as January end or February at the max, right? When I say that, the first thing has to be your documentation. It seems as a very easy step, but believe me, there are so many dependencies that come later on, and you will be halfway in your applications. You would have punched an application and it's still never going to be complete. So what I'm going to suggest to you is just make sure that all your documentation, including your transcripts, including your degree certificate, including your semester-wise mark sheet, is there with you. Your test score results in terms of the English proficiency exam, whether it be IELTS, TOEFL, it should be ready with you, right? In case you are actually looking for a waiver on IELTS, and that is also a possibility, you should be writing mails to the universities and checking out, the requirements there as well, right? Apart from it, just allow me a second. All right. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So apart from that, I think the next thing is to talk about the GRE and GMAT, right? So once you're checking out the universities, there can be three kinds of universities. The first one, which are already giving you a waiver. So these are the places where GRE and GMAT is optional. You don't need to do anything, you don't have to actually apply for a waiver. You can just make your application. The second kind of schools are wherein you will have to take a waiver. For example, USC Marshall, the application itself acts as a waiver wherein an essay has to be uploaded, right, with some particular format, right? So the next thing, if you are looking to apply for waiver, you should go to these websites. You could check out what is the requirement. Some of the universities might even have a requirement, of taking a waiver in a particular timeline, right? Some universities, let's say the deadline is December 9, they would tell you to take a waiver as early as December 2, right? So the second thing is to definitely check your GRE, GMAT waiver requirements. The third thing is, if you feel that your profile is not really good right now at this point in time and we have very less time to build on your profile, I would say take out the things in your profile that are the best, right? It is never about the quantity, it is always about the quality. Pick out the three best pointers in your profile, write them down, and make sure everything is just weaved around it. And honestly, it can be as simple as just being very consistent in your academics, right? In fact, there's an example with us. We have the student Taran who's applying to all these top end schools, right? First thing was we always knew that academic can be made an important factor. He had got 7.7 studying at VIT Vellore, right? We did a West, we got 3.9 out of 4, and that's unbelievable, right? But yes, we had no time left to improve the profile. We selected the schools where academics play the majority role, right? That helped us, strategize the plan better. The next thing was even in the SOPs essays, we made sure we are exactly mentioning what kind of subjects he has studied, how academically he has made sure he's consistent every time, right? So pick out three best things in your profile and highlight them everywhere, including your application form, including your essays, including your SOP, and even in fact your interviews, right? Apart from it, the majority part is also that even though we have less time, I'm sure none of us want to rush getting into any random school, right? We are all making a very very big investment, and we want to make sure we are choosing something that is good for us, right? To make that wise choice, as we can also see in the presentation, map a university according to your profile perfectly, and also with what you want to do. For example, if you want to get to a decent consulting strategic MBA, Vanderbilt is a very good choice, which has a further deadline, easy process of getting a waiver, right? But if you select USC Marshall at this point in time, including in the application, it takes around 10 days to just grant a waiver, and the deadline is around the corner, right? And Vanderbilt can also give you a very good ROI, as not as much as USC, but it's still something that can fetch you a job of somewhere around 80 to 90,000 US dollars. The more important thing is, yes, if you need a helping hand, you should get to a career strategist as soon as possible. so that at least the shortlisting part is something that can be made very quick, and you can just resort to, getting through your applications, making the essays, and submitting your application. So that's what is going to be strategy from my end. I would actually want Harshul to share his strategy as of now. I think, first of all, congratulations, Harshul. And that's a big achievement. Wish you all the luck for everything. But what do you think should be the strategy? And in fact, I believe you're also applying to some schools, right? So, what do you think should be the strategy from now on?
Thank you, Pragya. Uh, so the strategy should be enhancing your profile first and picking out the three things which you said, any three, four things which you think are valuable, and focusing on them since the time is less. So you need to pick out things according to the university's requirements. If they want academics, you pick out academics. If they want to review your profile holistically, you put in extracurriculars, etc. So I also got a waiver from MIT, Nikhil, if you're not aware, Sloan School of Management,
Was.
GMAT waiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's how I got it from there. I showed extracurriculars, I showed my certifications, etc. And yeah, so I think that would be the strategy right now for Politech.
Great. I didn't forget it, right? So
Yeah,
I did remember, but yeah, I was waiting for you to mention it.
yeah,
It looks very authentic when you say it, right? So yeah, you had got a MIT waiver as well, right? So this is just a, Harshul was at a different timeline though, right? So I will definitely tell you this. The profile enhancement right now has to go hand in hand, right? So Harshul had that 1 or 2 months to enhance his profile and then apply. Whereas right now, students, if you want to apply, we have to apply hand in hand, right? So as we are enhancing your profile, we have to also sit with our SOPs, essays, and everything. So that's how we will build our entire profile, and we can meet the deadlines, right? So once you miss a deadline, the entire thing is over, right? So we have to be careful around the deadlines and accordingly go hand in hand. Also, a very small trick that many people don't know about: if you start a research paper, if you start a project, if you start anything that has not ended yet and you can't provide the certificate for it, just write it as a work under progress in your resume, right? So that it still counts. If you get called up for an interview, there'll be a quick question on the work under progress, all the projects that you've marked on work under progress. So if you can mark that and then go into the interview with tremendous development in that particular project or internship, that is a very good plus factor. Because right now you can't provide the certification, so you mark it work under progress, and in the interview it's sure to come up. If the interviewer is wants to grill you, they will definitely ask what is the progress on that, and if you can actually show progress, nothing like it, right? Because that's what interviews are all about. How much can you actually counter answers? These questions are made to burn you, right? So if you have ready-made answers for it, definitely will get into this top university. Okay. Now, moving forward, if you guys have any other doubts, you can definitely write it in the Q&A box, right? So we'll definitely get back to you personally as well. Okay.
Nikhil, I
So
would just like to add one more pointer,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is
sure.
that yes, a lot of your students might already preparing for the GMAT GRE. We have talked about waivers, but if any of you are still preparing for your exams, one thing is that you can still submit your applications. GRE and GMAT needs to be directly reported later as well. So all these universities, they allow you to make an application without GRE GMAT. That gives you a buffer time of 1 to 2 weeks in which you can actually prep up even better. And then once you have your score, you can directly report it. So if there are any urgent deadlines to be catered to, go ahead, submit your application, take the GRE GMAT later, and directly report it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll just go through entire Harshul's entire case study, right? So what exactly did he achieve? For people who are just joining, I think we need to repeat all of that. So we'll just go through it very quickly so that you guys know where do you stand in terms of top admits and everything. Okay. So first of all, this was a snapshot of Harshul's profile. He had a BBA with 61.5%. He got a GRE waiver, as he himself mentioned. He got a GRE waiver from MIT as well, Boston as well. So even these top universities respect people who are leading a very tough life, I would say a very hectic life, who are working 12 hours a day. They understand that these students can't carve out the time for GRE or GMAT. You just have to show the proof of that, right? You have to show what all responsibilities lie on your shoulders, how well are you managing them. If you are at a job for 2 years, what is the growth that you have had, right? So definitely you will see all of that in his profile, right? So he was applying for a GMAT or GRE waiver simply he had an entrepreneurship on the side. He is working at KPMG. He works around 10 or 11 hours every day. So he didn't have the time to invest into a GMAT or GRE. So he went for a waiver. He got it. And right now he will be going to Boston. Abhi ek hua hai. There are multiple other offers that can come around. Right now, until now, he is fixated on Boston, right, with a 50% scholarship. Now, a detailed analysis, right? So these are the universities that we have applied to with a GRE waiver, just for your knowledge, right? Because he doesn't have a GRE or a GMAT. So all of these universities also are a part of those universities that are giving out GMAT waivers. If you can show relevant experience, if you can show the quantitative skills and the communicative skills required to be eligible for a GRE waiver. So he has applied to USC, University of Michigan, Boston, NYU, and Rutgers. All of these universities come under the top 60 MBAs, right? And you can see we have already achieved Boston. The rest of them are yet to come, right? We have not. We are still working on them. We are still working on getting him more offers, because the more offers that he gets, right, more scholarships that he gets, he will have more options in his hand, right? I love when a student has 2 or 3 offers in front of them, and then they can choose which university will be the best one, right? So from a position of, I would say, underconfidence, where you are not feeling confident enough even to apply, to get to that position within 6 months, where 3 of the biggest universities are wanting you, that's the journey that we aim at Ace, my friend. Right. So more offers are awaited. Again, pressing on that, because I'm hoping for him to get more into more universities as well. Okay. And this is a little bit of information about Boston University. If you don't know about its ranking, about all the advantages that you have, right? So, Harshul, I think you are the person that is researching most on the Boston University for the past month, right? So, do you want to add anything on the Boston University topic, on the entire process?
So Boston University is a really big university in terms of student size. So it houses multiple schools under that. So there are a lot of networking opportunities over there, and also they have a lot of clubs. So I researched about their clubs, and I wanted to be in a lot of them, which excited me a lot. And that was one
Hmm.
point. So my main criteria was networking, which Boston met. So
Right. Yeah. So, as Harshul rightly pointed out, there are many other colleges also inside Boston. The business school is known as Questrom, right? So it's Questrom School of Business, where he has got an admit. And you can see it's a super selective admission criteria, less than 20% acceptance rate, right? But another thing that students, you have to know, it's not just about rankings, it's about the location as well. Specifically in US, it's all about the location. There are many universities that are in the suburbs, that are way out of the city. And the major point that Harshul pointed out, you are going for an MBA. I know most of you guys will be excited for doing an MBA, but let's be real. We are going out there to network. We are going out there for practical knowledge, right? We are not just going out there for a ranking. Ranking you can get, right? So, but it's also about location. It's the second, I would say, highest preference that you should definitely keep it up, right? Because if the location is right, even in your free time, you can go into an internship fair, you can go to networking groups, and you can create the network that you want. Even after graduating, you will have a very good networking base, because your network worth is sometimes more valuable than your net worth, right? So in your initial stages of your career, where doing a master's, the network worth is the most essential. So make sure that whenever you choose a university, you are definitely looking at the location as well. All right. So I'll take a moment here. I'll go to exactly Harshul's workstation as well. So just so you guys know how do we work. Okay. So you guys have your own, zoom in button, if you can see it, right? Just give me a second. Okay. So there will be a zoom in button in all of your screens. So if you want to zoom in and you want to see the universities and how the shortlists are made, right? So definitely you can see it's a very detailed procedure. So I will not get into it, but you will get this much of information in front of you before you select any university. Okay. What are the deadlines? What are the admission procedures there? How do we go about the GRE waiver? Right. You can zoom in and you can look at every column that we mentioned, right? Just give me a second. Okay, great. So why this entire workstation is created such a detailed explanation of every university is because when you're investing 50, 60 lakhs, right, you need to understand where your money is going, what are the return of investment chances, what is the procedure to get the GMAT or the GRE waiver, right? Everything is there, and this is custom made for every particular person, right? So if you want to have a list like this, short list like this, where every university ke her detail pay we work, what is the location, what is the return of investment, what kind of tuition fee do you have to pay, what kind of scholarships can you attend, definitely just join us for a one-on-one session where we'll discuss all about these universities, what are the things that we need to discuss on, right? And then we can sit back and you can choose which universities fit your profile the best. There are top 50, top 60 universities. Not every university is made for you, right? Some universities give more importance to academia, some give more importance towards experience, okay? So accordingly, we will shortlist universities and we'll make sure that you get into the top universities. So I'll just address some questions that people have come up with, right? Just 1 second. Okay. Okay, so there's a question in the Q&A chat side that is saying what kinds of scholarships are available if we start in January. So just addressing that, taking 2 minutes, right? So first scholarship is merit. Okay. So now Harshul scholarship is called a Dean scholarship, right? A Dean scholarship directly comes from the university based on your profile when it is compared to other students, profile, and that's how Harshul. So Harshul, can you just give me a detailed view of your scholarship, because I think it's divided into 2 years, right?
So it's $15,000 per year, and
Right.
it's on tuition fees.
Right, exactly. So, guys, that's the first kind of scholarship, right? So the first kind of scholarship is always a merit scholarship based on whatever you have created until now, right? So the first type of scholarship is that. Second is based on your profile. Now, what do I mean by profile? By profile, I mean that some people have a very extensive non-profit profile. They have worked a lot. They have worked years and years on non-profit, right? This will attract scholarships. If you look at every university, for example, you take up Columbia, there is a non-profit scholarship that takes care of anyone who has done a lot of social work. You get around 20-30% scholarship as well, right? There are scholarships in Germany, there are scholarships in Europe as well. Every university has a NGO scholarship, basically people who have worked for non-profits, as it is a diversity point, so it takes care of such kind of scholarships. If you have built an entrepreneurship, for example, Harshul also has an entrepreneurship, and I'm sure many of you people right now in your final year would have attempted to start something, right? There are entrepreneurial based scholarships as well. Take down one university named Babson College. Okay, now Babson is a top 50 university in US. It's very underrated, I would say, because if you have heard about brands like Tommy Hilfiger, it came out of Babson. The entrepreneurial community is very, very, very effective and very strong. They are always looking to invest in other opportunities. So your alumni can be your investors, right? These are the kind of opportunities that no one is actually talking about. This is the kind of knowledge that we believe in sharing. It's not just about getting a rank here. No, it's about getting that network. It's about getting into that position that your ultimate dream is. Your ultimate dream can't be just a university. Your ultimate dream will be some position to gain 5 years down the lane, 6 years down the lane, where getting into the best university and best network is just one stepping stone. And we have to take that right though, right? If you get into the right university, if you get into the right networks, you will be taken care of. Okay. The last type of scholarships, guys, is actually international based scholarships. So there are multiple government, state government scholarships. There are multiple female entrepreneurship scholarships. If you're a female person going outside, right, for managerial studies, there are a lot of scholarships in that domain also. And there will be some scholarships that international organizations give you based on the profile, right? Based on the profile that you match with their organization agendas. So there are multiple scholarships. So in these three types, we apply to every one of them. The merit offer comes with your offer letter. The merit scholarships come with your offer letter. The rest of the scholarships we have to chase after you get your offer letter. Okay. Great. So I think that closes the discussion about the strategy. Right. Another big question that we have received for the past week is a recession is coming. What's the advantage? What is the disadvantage? Will I get the ROI or not? So gaining from past experience, I would definitely say the best time to study is during the recession, right? There are practical factors behind it. During a recession, people are getting laid off. All the visas face a danger of getting deported, except the student visa. Okay, the student visa is untouched throughout the recession because you have paid your fees. The student visa allows you to be there for 2 years. In a normal US visa, you only get 1 year of post-study work visa, but if you go for a STEM course, you get 3 years of work visa. So no one can snatch this from you. right? It's a student visa. It's similar in Canada, 2 years of student visa, 3 years of work visa. UK, 1 year of student visa, 2 years of post study work visa, right? So these 3 or 5 years, no one can touch you if you are a tax paying member of the society. You just have to have one job in your particular, domain, what you have studied in, and you will be taken care of. And the maximum advantage is actually when the recession ends. When the recession ends, 2 years later, right, you are already graduating with a master's degree, 1.5 or 2 years later, the recession has come and gone. There are multiple job opportunities that are opening everywhere. There are multiple entrepreneurships that are coming up, and you get to be one of the founding members or one of the early, I would say, employees of these upcoming things, right? So you get a huge advantage if you study throughout the recession, and just after the recession, you start working, right? So that is one of the best things that I would advise you guys. A recession is a tremendous time to go abroad, specifically for studying matter, right? You will not be working for the next 1.5 2 years. You're just doing part-time work. That doesn't get affected. But as soon as you graduate, you'll have a lot of opportunities, right? ROI wise, return of investment wise, right? So we'll definitely, we in belonging from middle class families also, when we started this, we took ROI as the most important factor, right? There have been times, I know it will sound absurd, but there have been times where people have rejected Stanford because it was asking for a 1.1, 1.2 crore investment. Whereas colleges like Babson, Fordham, University of San Francisco, which are at prime locations, but a 20th ranked or 25th ranked university, they provide better ROIs. They ask you to invest 40, 50 lakhs, and they have an average placements of 85 or 90 lakhs. So these are tier one universities that are always hidden. These are hidden gems that we actually want to target. There are multiple counselors in the industry that will, shoot tier two, tier three universities on your face that this is what you deserve. That's not the truth. The tier one in US is the top 60. The tier one in Canada is top 15. In UK, it's the top 15. So you have to just not look at the top three or top four, rather look at the top 15. And there will be universities that will ask for a 40, 50 lakh investment, but will come back with 80, 90 lakh job, right? So again, ma'am, you want to add anything on the advantage of recession or the ROI point?
What I believe is, I think most of us being from middle class grounds, and at the same time, I don't think most of us want to put a pressure on our parents, right? I think for me, when I was looking for my study abroad, the first thing was I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on my parents, even though I was targeting a very, top end name, right? So, of course, we have covered the advantages of recession. We have talked about the return on investment. But I think what I would want to break a myth on is that ROI is a very subjective term. What matters the most is you should be, fulfilling your objective, right? If you think you're somebody with 6 years of experience, 7 years of experience, and you still want to study something worth a crore, and you value that education, good enough. But you might also be somebody who just wants to go there and aim for a good job, and therefore a name like Babson also does good for you, right? What I'm going to tell you to actually identify what your ROI should be or how it can be made better, you first need to identify what's your basic objective. Are you looking for a good job and you want to be there for a while? Are you planning to settling there? Or, it's just the quality of education that matters, right? Once you have clarity on your objective, of course, we're there to guide you on what or how we should be able to help you out fulfill that objective, right?
Right. Okay, great. So, at the conclusion, I would say definitely September 23 is one of the best intakes that you can go to. If not that, then January 24 as well, right? Now, coming to the topic of partner versus premium schools that we have hinted all along the webinar, it's actually one of the ill practices in our industry where even when we were thinking of going abroad, Pragya ma'am, she herself has got offers from University of Penn and then RWDH Icon, the number two in Germany. So when we were also starting our journey, there were multiple agents that just promoted certain universities of tier two, tier three. Please stay clear of them if you really want to get into a top university, right? Because they have a commission-based system. They only have to promote universities in order to get a commission, right? So whereas your actual potential might be a lot different. So let's focus on what we do rather than what others do, right? So what exactly changes in a premium school? A premium school basically is a tier one university of any country, right? What exactly changes is you will never read the headlines, sorry. You'll never read the headlines that a Stanford alumni is not able to get a job, right? A Harvard alumni is not getting a job. Even if multiple people are getting laid off, these people always have some or the other jobs in the back, right? So that is the first thing. If you have a brand name on your resume, no matter what is the condition of the economy, there will always be job offers for you, right? So this is a problem majorly faced by students who just want to get into a country, right? So if you just want to get into a country, that's fair. If that's your personal choice, that's completely fair. But you'll always have the risk, right? If the economy changes, if there is a recession coming, you'll always have the risk that you don't have a brand name right now. So if you don't have 3 or 4 years of experience, you will be in a pickle of a spot, right? You might be deported, or you might have to return back to India to find better opportunities. So that's why if you're investing 40 lakhs anyway, why not go for a tier one, right? Even the tier three universities charge you 35. So why not add 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs to your budget and aim for the tier one universities, right? And the next is top exposure. So when you sit with people, I know it's a very old saying that the people you hang out with define who you are, but it's somewhat true when you're investing 40 lakhs. When you're investing 40, 50 lakhs, you have to have people around you who value 40, 50 lakhs, who are also there to grow, who are there to start startups, who are there at least to try to get into the top spot or the get best conglomerates, right? After spending 50 lakhs, you can't say that, my company doesn't matter. It does matter, right? You are leaving a very comfort zone of India. You're traveling there. If the group and the circle is not right, definitely changes a lot of things, right? As you can see, Harshul, who has worked in a KPMG, it's an international organization, it's a top four, right? Big four, as we call it. And he knows the value of his circle right now sitting at KPMG, right? He knows the value of his circle. He knows in his essays, he has portrayed that what he's bringing onto that table as well. As a KPMG professional for so many years, he has a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders. What exactly can he bring to the table? So you should be able to add to that class profile as well, right? So that's a challenge when you apply to premium schools. In partner schools or in tier two, tier three, you will anyway add to the profile, because I have seen people going there and complaining that or the kind of people they're surrounded with is not motivating at all. So if you're spending so much money and you're not getting motivated every day by seeing people around you, something is wrong. Right? So that's why always choose tier one universities or maximum tier two universities if your profile is that bad, right? But I'm sure we can find a way to get into tier one universities no matter what your profile is. There are tweaks, there are things that we have learned from our experience just by servicing the premium schools. Okay. Now moving forward, right? Why expert counseling is required even for shortlisted universities. So we will give you, there's a giveaway of all the universities that are giving a GMAT or a GRE waiver, right? So I think most of you guys, and we believe that most of you guys will be able to create a shortlist for yourself. That's not something that you need people for, right? You can do a little bit of research and you can create a shortlist. Yes, how balanced that shortlist is depends on the professionalism that you show, but you can create a shortlist. But still, why do we do this? Why do we counsel people for tier one? Is yes, we know the tips and tricks. We have applied to this for last 7 years, right? Last 7 years, we've just been applying to tier one universities. So the strategies that we have developed, the kind of information that we can give to what the career trajectory will be within 1 or 2 years, that is invaluable. That is not done. Even I thought when I was first of all, I hired an agent. That came out wrong. Then I, did it myself. But the kind of things that we need to know before going there, I was never able to find the exact things, right? So the three things that we need to definitely look at is the location of the university, right? Where does it sit? Does it have hubs around? Does it have headquarters around? Does it have the kind of growth where entrepreneurships are? If you talk about Silicon Valley, if you go there as an entrepreneur, there'll be a lot of opportunities for you, right? So kind of location makes a huge difference when you're investing such a huge amount of money, right? Technical prowess. Now, why technical prowess? As we all know, we are moving towards a digital age. No matter what company you join, no matter which company you start, you have to have technical prowess. You have to have the university where if you're not a technical guy, you can at least team up with a technical guy that can take care of it, right? So the technical prowess of the university is also very important. You have to display your technical prowess as well. Not many people know that communication is a skill very respected in US, very, very well respected, right? So that's why I said, even if you are leading a team of 20 students of colleges, that also matters. That means 20 students or 20 people can hear you, can obey you, can, get guidance from you and get the best efforts out there, right? So managers will always be required no matter how technical the age is. That's why the technical prowess is very important. And research-based university. So if you're going for research, this is for specifically people who are going for research-based degrees, there are multiple avenues to research. Okay, there is a thesis track, there is a non-thesis track, there is a teaching assistantship, research assistantship. All of these things need to be worked on, and this is not live on a website. No, not, you can't find everything on a website. You need counseling for it. That's all. That's why you should always take helps from the experts, right? I'm not saying you just have to obey us. As Harshul said, that most of the decisions were made by him, right? So according to shortlist and everything, it's our job to guide you. It's not to force you to do something. It's our job to guide you, provide all the statistics that are required, right? So just give me 1 second. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. Yeah, so we are coming to the end of the webinar, guys. So one of the profiles that I wanted to discuss with you guys was Udit Goel, right? So last year, January, this guy came up to us. I remember the first time I met him, and for the next 6 months, how much we hustled. He had a 3-year bachelor's degree, and you guys will be shocked to know he was from University of Delhi School of Open Learning. That is a distance learning course. He didn't have a proper BBA as well, right? So just to give you a insight on where do you guys stand, right? So that's why I'm presenting this case study, because he had a 3-year BBA degree, that to an online one, with a 7.5 GPA. That's it. A stay-home BBA degree, and he had not even graduated yet. He was in his sixth semester, last semester, right? And he wanted to get into the top universities, right? That is a very ambitious. No experience, no GMAT, GRE, no IELTS for that matter. Just after 12th standard, he had joined a distance learning BBA degree, right? So any guesses on which kind of universities would you have targeted? Although you can see one of the universities, biggest universities that you can get into for MS Finance, right? But if you can think about it, what does that student who is not getting a job in India because of distance learning, is not getting into master university because it doesn't have enough credit hours, right? He has nowhere to go, and he lived in Delhi, so yeah, came with his parents. His parents were concerned, but the journey that this guy had, I think very few people will be able to match it, right? So because he was very active, he had the spirit of getting into top universities, and then we pitched in and we said we will give the best shot, right? Also, for your knowledge, we give you a guarantee of an admit. So we had given a guarantee of an admit just based on this particular profile. We applied for GRE waivers. He started last January. So the first step was applying to GRE waivers all across, right? We applied to Vanderbilt, we applied to Rochester, we even applied to University of Texas, Austin, Texas McCombs, right? We were also thinking of Columbia, so we had applied there. So how does he present his quantitative or communication skills? Through his internships. As he had a lot of time, as was distance learning student, we guided him on the internships and certifications that can show his quantitative and communication aptitude. We developed his profile for 2 months. We applied. The result was he get an offer from every school that he applied to, right? He applied to Rochester, Fordham, Northeastern University of Boston. All of these are in prime location. It's in the New York Boston belt, if you know about it. It's the eastern coast where the maximum finance opportunities are there. So he didn't just get into Rochester. Rochester is, by the way, the 11th ranked MS Finance university around the world. So it's one of the best that you can go for. He had an investment management track, but the scholarship was of 30 lakhs. 28, 30 lakhs of scholarship just based on this profile. So imagine what you guys can do. Just imagine what you guys can do. That's the demand of a true professional out there, right? He did his internships very well. He had a lot of confidence in his interviews. His essays were on point because we had worked on his essays like anything, and yet he got into the top universities, right? So this is the true potential of an Indian candidate, right? The mission is to actually show the true potential to the Indian candidates, because here we underestimate ourselves. We underestimate ourselves a lot. I'm sure I've received some of your profiles already, so we'll get back to them. Don't worry, right? We have received the profiles in the manner that I asked. We'll get back to them, and most of you deserve a tier one universities, guys. You have 7 GPA. I can see a 6.5. I can see a 9 GPA. You guys deserve the tier one. It's just the right guidance that you guys are missing, and I'm sure Ace Mapper can help you. Okay. So there's a free evaluation session that you can just attend, right? So the link will be shared on the chat box as well. I think it has already been shared. You can book a one-on-one free evaluation session, and you can get to know what is your true potential. Okay. So you can check out our website. You can check out our reviews. We are almost to the end of the webinar, right? So you can see Udit is one of the people. This is his LinkedIn thing. He actually got into Simon School Venture Capital Fund as well, right? He is already working part-time there. He went this September. He's part of Meliora Fund and the Simon School Venture Capital Fund. So nothing like it, guys. He's around New York and he's learning finance there, right? With the best graduates, best alumni of finance there. Simon Business School, if you don't know about it, do a research. University of Rochester, Simon Business School. You will understand what he has achieved. And so time for the giveaway, right? So right after this webinar, you all guys will receive a PDF, right? Having all the universities that are giving GMAT GRE waivers for September intake itself. Okay, this is spread across the world. We have shared a shortlist from Europe. We have shared a shortlist from USA as well. If you have any other doubts, if you want your specific university to be researched upon, not a problem. We have any one of our students will be applying there, so we'll know which university has a GRE waiver, what is the way to go forward with it, right? So on that note, we have come to the end of the webinar. Okay, so if you want to get started, I think you can see the form. You can definitely fill in the form for a one-on-one session with us. Right, you guys deserve one of the best universities. It's just that you need the right guidance. Right. I hope you target September 23 or January 24 because we don't know about the next year how the economy will work, but this year definitely you should target to get out in that international market as soon as possible, right? So first of all, Harshul, thank you so much for joining us, right? Congrats on your admit again. If you want to say a few last words, you can definitely say it out.
Initially, when I met Nikhil in the office, my concern was that do you have partner universities, or because I had three, four more study abroad consultants, uh, which I was talking to back then. So I like the process, like how he explained me the process that you can choose the universities on your own also, and we'll help you choose them. So they did not put on partner universities in my workstation. They allowed me to research about the universities. They gave me time to research about the universities, which I like the most. And they have everything streamlined in terms of working, as in they have my documents already. That's the first step they ask for. They build a workstation which is accessible 24 hours over Excel, so I can anytime go in and check my status of the university application or anything. So I like their working a lot. That's why I finalized them to be my study abroad consultants, and I think I took the right decision, and I'm happy about it.
Still not doubting that.
Yeah. No, no, I'm not.
So yeah, on that note, yeah, we
Yeah,
work very hard for the students that can get into top universities, right? So
yeah,
if even we see a 1% chance, we go for it, right? Because we are not partnered, as you said, we are not working on commission base. We don't have anything to lose, so we'll go all out for you guys to get into the tier one universities. Although yes, Harshul, I do remember the first time that you come, we had a
yeah,
good negotiation as well.
yeah,
He had
yeah,
a lot of insights what he had already seen, but yeah, I think that was the right decision. And over 5 months, 6 months of your hard work as well, constantly keeping up with the process, constantly looking for the right universities, constantly taking our advice also. Because yes, there's a human interaction involved in the process. So we have to be understanding of the each other's perspective also. I think that was tremendous in your case. And that's why we are sitting here with the best university admin, right? So it's all about trust, guys. So that's why we had invited Harshul to share his insights also on the profile, on how we work as well. Pragya ma'am, any last words that you want to share with everyone who has joined?
Yeah, first of all, Harshul, thank you for the kind words. We really feel happy hearing that. Honestly, for everybody, when we got started, honestly, it comes back to my story. When I was looking to go abroad, I was reaching out to different counselors, right, hoping to get a helping hand. I was aiming for Wharton, that was my dream school. And as I reached out, I came back with the Canada colleges colors, right? And the first thing was I was doubting myself that have I done something wrong? Do I miss something in my profile? And then I started working on my profile altogether by myself, right? Now, this is something that we wanted to build on. We wanted to give you a helping hand. We don't want to be telling you which universities you should go to, but we want to guide you on what you deserve, right? So even in Harshul's case, we feel very happy. Having said that, I think the best thing is that we never had to, push you for anything. You had that passion, Harshul, and that's what I expect from all of you guys. Just be passionate to achieve that dream, right? When you have that passion, we would be even further passionate to make sure you get into a good school. Start early. That's what I'm going to advise you on. Yes, there would be a lot of doubts. You would feel, anxious all the time. And a lot of things have to be done, right? But you will get clarity once you get started, right? So yes, invest onto yourself, invest onto a good counselor, get started to achieve what is there to come for you. And yes, believe in yourself that you can deserve a tier one university.
Perfect. So I guess, guys, you have posted all of your doubts, right? We'll be reaching out individually to you guys as well. I can see a lot of doubts though, right? But we have to end the webinar here. But if you definitely need any other, any other counseling sessions, you can definitely book a one-on-one session so that we can come to you. We can look at what exactly do you want, and then we can give you the strategy to go ahead, right? So people from all over India, thank you so much for joining in, right? So I can see a lot of universities as well that have been represented here. Great. If you guys specifically want any other sessions to be held for your universities also, just reach out to us. We will be taking care of that as well. Okay. Perfect. I think you will receive the GRE waiver list on your emails right after we end this call. So look at those universities, see if you guys are interested. If you have any doubts, just book a session and we'll be here. You can also visit our website that has a registration link at 24 into 7, so you can register and get on board with us as well. Okay, perfect, guys. So on that note, a very good evening to all of you guys. Right, have a great day, and I hope this session was of some help to you guys. Okay, let's target the tier 1 universities. I'm sure that every one of you deserve a tier 1, so our doors are always open to you. Okay, perfect. Good talking to you guys. Take care. I'm ending the webinar here, so you guys might leave. Okay, take care.